Hi there everyone, and I think I am live. Yeah, I think I'm live now on Instagram. So live from my car because I've just been for a run, and so I've just got back in my car, and being in the north of the UK, it's really it's not freezing cold, but it's really rainy and really windy today. And actually, when I got up, I just knew I was going to go for a run once I dropped the girls in school. And so I just put my running clothes on. And then I looked outside the window and, saw the really quite stormy and dark weather. But anyway, I carried on and went for my run anyway. So I'm just rabbiting on while a few people join us live. Hi to you all who have joined me already. It's really nice to have you here. Live from my car this morning before I pop home and have a shower and get on with the day. And actually, the weather and the nature that's surrounding me is very relevant to today. So I'm going to be talking about mood swings. I'm going to do the mood swings. That are not my words. I rarely use those words actually. It's quite interesting because I put a post. Don't ask me what day. Don't even ask me what day it is today. But I put a post out a few days ago about perimenopause and how there are just those extremes of 1 minute we just couldn't give a shit, and then the next, not the next minute, but we'll not give a shit, and then some while later we'll feel like the world is going to end. And it's those real extremes. And a lot of words that came through from the comments were about mood swings, and obviously you hear that a lot. You hear those words within the context of perimenopause. So those are the words that I'm using today, but I don't use them. I never say, and I'm going to get onto that. But I'm going to talk about mood swings and I guess why I don't like that term mood swings, why I say they're not mood swings, and kind of what you can do about it. So we've got loads of you joined live now, so that's fabulous. I'm going to crack on with what I want to share. And really interesting, was it on that post or a different post? Zoe from Manchester Menopause Hive said, soapboxes and anchors. She said, that could be the title of a book. I am not writing a book at the moment. But yeah, and I thought today I'm going to do a bit of a soapbox. I'm going to stand on my soapbox, and then I'm going to give you some ideas about anchoring. It's a big part of the work that I do, how to really anchor ourselves down in this hormonal stormy season. So I'm going to do soapbox and I'm going to do my anchor. So yeah, maybe that is very much part of who I am really. So in terms of soapbox and the context, I'll tell you now. Actually, I'm going to tell you now what the kind of almost like not the moral of the story, but what I want to get across to you. I'm going to tell you it now. Then I'm going to tell you my stories and get on my soapbox, and then I'll return to it. So what I want to get across to you is context and narrative, the stories and the response to our hormones and to biology. So I often talk about the bio-psycho-spiritual dimensions of perimenopause and menopause. And I'm not going to talk, but I don't often. I mean, the biology is covered by so many wonderful people out there. But what I'm going to focus on is the psychology. However, the psychology massively impacts the biology. I mean, really, the stress and how we respond to our bodies. So there's everything that's going on in our bodies, the biology, which is important, but it's how we respond to it that then impacts our experience of it. And there is actually some research to show that. I was very pleased to find there's hardly any research in this area, but there is a research paper. I mean, there could be there needs to be a lot more, but there is research to show. But I mean, I don't even need research. This is just how it is. It's just so obvious from all the work I do, and it makes sense anyway that how you respond to your body and to the hormonal changes impacts how you then experience your body and experience life. So that's kind of what I'm wanting to get across. And the kind of soapbox, the kind of stories I want to share. One is I'm going to share myself over the past couple of days. I'm really can you hear? I don't want to use those words, mood swings, because I would never say that about myself. But before I talk about my personal experience, I was just driving back from dropping the girls at school, and I was thinking about nature, and I was thinking, we don't sort of say to the trees that are around me right now that are, absolutely bare and dead, we don't kind of get really angry and frustrated at them. Why are you not blooming? Why are you not blooming? Why are you dead now? You should be blooming. It's like, well, it happens. This is what happens in nature. There are phases where the leaves grow and there are flowers, and then there are phases where they look dead. Actually, they're not. In fact, this is when there's the most amount of activity is going on in the soil, actually, when they look dead. But that's how they are. That's the nature cycle. I know that happens over a year, and actually our changes from potentially blooming to dead, as it were, can happen in the space of a few hours. But this is nature. This is what happens. And of course, thinking about nature, what I was thinking about is, well, you could create an artificial environment where you could make a plant flower all year. I'm like, could make a plant flower all year round in an artificial environment. And actually, that's kind of what society is has over the years created, I think, in a way for us. This kind of encouragement of this sort of artificial environment where we're expected to bloom all the time. And it's ridiculous, because we are cyclical. Not only is it ridiculous, and causes so much pain, because we're trying to be blooming and all, this kind of whatever that happiness is, but that kind of we're all okay, all the time, and that frustration. But also we are missing out on the fertile soil, because I'm going on the nature theme here, the fertile soil that is the dying off of the shedding and the depths, and in terms of right now in winter in the northern hemisphere. I know people tune in from all over the world. I do apologize. I'm going on the northern hemisphere season right now, but yeah, everything that's going on right now under the soil it's very active, but in a kind of very different way from the blooming. And it means that then there is potential for incredible spring and summer and growth. And then, of course, I kind of extended that metaphor in my mind. I thought about that artificial environment. I thought, oh, yeah, that's kind of what we're, that's kind of part of how things are. And then I thought about all the things that we do. I was thinking about climate change and extremes, and how actually what we do, this is in terms of nature, but yeah, what we do in the environment, how we respond and relate to the environment, what we put out there, what we take from it, how we are in relationship with the nature and environment has then a huge impact on its seasons and the extremes. And same with our bodies, how we respond, what we do with our bodies then can impact on the extremes. And I am thinking there about the sort of biology, really. But I'm going to bring myself back into the psychological side. But that's kind of some context that I've been thinking about. And let me put it into a story in terms of the context of my life over the past couple of days. So on Monday, I woke up and when I woke up, I had the weekend had been fine. Woke up on Monday and I felt this really deep, pulling, like my whole being was being sort of pulled. I could feel myself being pulled down into kind of, it wanted to go into like a dark place, almost like, it's hard to give it words really, but I felt being pulled down into the darkness. That's how I'll explain it. So I got up. Well, no, first of all, I thought, oof, gosh, I feel like I might actually have to spend quite a lot of time, you know, in bed and surrendering today, which I don't often spend a lot of time like that. I do surrender and I do connect, but I was like, oh, this feels really strong. Interestingly as well, over the weekend and towards the end of last week, I did put a post out. In fact, it might have been, no, it's another one. I think it was on Sunday actually, about darkness, because obviously it's this, in Northern Hemisphere, it's the darkest phase of the year. And we're about to get to the darkest day next Monday. And I put, I'm getting towards the end of my inner autumn, my premenstruum. So I was really feeling it. So I was feeling that on the Sunday in a way. So I put, I'm getting towards the end of my inner my premenstrual phase, blah blah blah, and I wasn't. So I'd lost track of the actual number of day that I was on in my menstrual cycle, and I wasn't actually. I wasn't in my premenstruum, but I felt like I was, so I thought I was. That was my energy. And then on the Monday, oh yeah, I was being really pulled into a dark place. So I got up, made myself a cup of tea, and I thought to myself, this is what a lot of people would say is, you know, low mood and depression. And I did not use those words. That's not how I perceived what was going on for me at all. But I just thought, yeah, but I would have done years and years ago. I would have done. And in fact, years ago, I would have been like, oh my God, this feels awful. Oh, this is horrendous. I can't cope. I need to go to bed. Or it would have been like, I promise you, that would have been going around. I feel awful. This is horrendous. This is a bit weird. All of that definitely would have, that would have happened. None of that was going through my mind, but I was observing it going, this is what people think is low mood and depression. I mean, it was very dark and very, like I say. So I was like, okay, I had certain things. I work for myself, so I can adapt things a little bit, but I had certain things I had to get done. There's no two ways around it. There's, you know, a lot of work that had to get done, but I was thinking, how can I work this? So I was like, I need to surrender. So what was going through my mind is, okay, what am I being called to here? I felt like I was being pulled down. I'm being called to something. I don't know what that is. I need to surrender, and I need to see, you know, where that goes, where that takes me to. So I did surrender. Interestingly, actually, I didn't go back to bed. I won't go through my whole day. But I totally surrendered, and I felt pulled to do a certain thing. And I did access some grief around a particular thing that's going on for me at the moment. So I really accessed that and the emotions and processed that. And then that's kind of, you know, and got stuff done, and it was kind of there for me. And that's kind of how my day went. So some people might say, oh, I was really low on Monday. I would say I was really connected. And interestingly, halfway through the day, I can't believe I knew this, but I'd forgotten. It was the bloody new moon. It was a new moon on Monday. And that it was a total solar eclipse. So the sun was completely eclipsed by the moon. And the sun is the ego, it's the going out there, the doing, the blooming and all that kind of stuff. The sun is the soul, the psyche, the kind of the deep connections, the sort of feminine energy. And yeah, I was like, okay, that's what was going on. It was the new moon. For me, I really felt, because I wasn't actually, so the new moon is like menstruation. It's like that phase of the cycle. So I felt like I was premenstrual, and then I was like almost going into menstruation. But I wasn't hormonally. That's coming this following weekend, a week later. So yes, the new moon, and it was definitely pulling me down into that kind of energy. So then that was kind of Monday. And then yesterday, and the other thing to say is that I got some visions as well about, this, that and the other. I got some insights. When you surrender and dip down into the darkness and trust and you have the support to do that. I'm not saying you can all just do that easy peasy. You know, I'm going to come on to support. But when we do that, there's a potential of actually receiving kind of ideas and inspiration and visions. It's quite bonkers in a way, but it's brilliant. And some new things came through to me, new things about my work that I'm doing with you all and all the rest of it. Then yesterday, I was buzzing. I was absolutely. A friend of mine came round. I don't know whether you're going to be watching this later, Claire. I know you're working right now, but she's on Instagram. She's, oh God, I'm trying to remember her thing now. She does all the yoga stuff. 40 is the new 30, Claire. So she came round and, we're chatting. I was buzzing yesterday. I was really kind of feeling, quite energised. So was that a massive mood swing from like deep, really low, really dark, crying, grief, emotion, all that kind of stuff, to like energetic, feeling kind of really inspired? Well, I would say this is the hormones. It's also, I think for me, it was connected to the moon, but it goes hormonally. I just think this is incredible. However, previous contexts that I have been in my life, previous relationships, etc., I would have really struggled to have gone there. I would have thought there's something bloody wrong with me, because that's what the environment would be telling me, so other people like, seeing me deep and dark and potentially needing to go to bed for a few hours, thinking, what the hell's wrong with you? Oh, and now today you're like bouncing around and full of energy and, you've got all these ideas. What the frick is wrong with you? Other people, I do not have those beliefs. I believe that I was tuning into whatever I needed to tune into. And it's hormonally driven. And again, like I say, it was connection with the moon energies, I believe, as well. So it's about context and about how we respond to these things. Because the thing that causes the thing that makes us struggle with the mood swings and the changeability of being a bloody woman in your perimenopause. We are changeable. Full stop. We are changeable. That's how it is. That's the reality. There's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong? What's a problem? What's wrong? What's an issue? What's a struggle? Is our perceptions of that, and of course the bloody artificial world that I'm on my soapbox. That kind of society's artificial environment that tells us we should be blooming all the freaking time. Nothing wrong with what's actually going on in your body. I know it's the biology and there is some stuff to say about that, but actually this is what I want to get across to you is actually this is what happens. We are changeable. And so it's so tough, because tell me, I'm not actually looking at seeing if anyone's put any comments, but someone's requesting to be in my live video. Well, I thought you people could just come in. Someone wants to jump in and join me. No, I'm not going to do that. God, I'm so agreeing with the tech stuff. Where was I? So yeah, it's tricky, because I think that the context of some of which we can't really control, other people's thoughts about stuff. That's so hard, isn't it? It's so hard. And that's almost for another live or another workshop or whatever it is, about how to, about relationships and being around other people, not just partner relationships, friendships and all that kind of stuff, the narrative around it all. But in terms of ourselves, it's about observing and seeing and responding and to our bodies and respecting and really showing deep compassion towards our bodies. And if we expect ourselves to be blooming all the time, and we think there's something wrong with these mood swings. So if you think, oh my God, these mood swings, blah, 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 well, they are going to be more extreme. So it's same with anxiety. It's all, whatever I say goes for absolutely every emotional response. And actually, there's all the research in the world. I could show you 400 randomized control trials to show you that the approach that I'm talking about here, really, it comes from acceptance, commitment therapy and training, ACT. It is across every human experience, in that the actual, whatever the experience is, and here we're talking about mood swings, whatever the experience is, that's not the issue. The issue is how we respond to it. And if we fight with it and don't want it and try and push it away and repress it and struggle with it, that's the pain, the struggling, not the actual thing itself. Anxiety is normal. There's nothing wrong with anxiety. It's our attempt to repress it and push it away and get rid of it and not have it and deny it and all that kind of stuff. That's the issue. That's the pain. That's the real, that's when anxiety goes through the roof. Because our bodies are thinking, God, there's something wrong here. Like, this is serious. Then it goes into fear, you see. God, there's something really wrong. And our bodies don't differentiate between like something not being okay and fear. It basically goes into fear. And so that's the problem, how we respond and struggle with it. I think this lady tried to come in, don't worry, I made mistakes on tech all the time. So yeah, it's how we respond is the issue, is the thing that can free us from it. So that's all of the, I mean, in a way, I think it isn't simple to do. We do need support. I need support for this as well. But however, the actual thing is in a way very, very simple, in terms of changing our responses to what's going on in our bodies and being willing is the word. Ooh, I've got my finger out. I'm really on my soapbox. Being willing. How willing are you to feel your feelings, to sense your hormones, to experience your hormones? How willing are you to allow that to happen? That's the key. And if we're not willing, that's when it's a struggle. When we're willing to allow and to surrender and accept that, then we are able to have space between them and we're able to respond in a different way. And that's what my course does, my 6-week course. It basically helps you to navigate the hormonal storms by learning those skills. Now, the 2 things I want to leave you with, I could rabbit on forever, you know that. Well, I'm on 23 minutes. Got no time frame today, but I'm going to get towards the end now and give you. I'm just looking at what just reminding myself. If there's anything else to say? So, in terms of what I want to leave you with is the anchors. So how to anchor yourself, because I think it's a really nice metaphor, isn't it? I talk about these hormonal storms, and you could, if you want to use mood swings, do, but I'm not keen. But I know that sometimes it helps. I appreciate it helps to put words to an experience, and people are like, oh yeah, that's what I've got. And I know that can be initially quite reassuring. I'm not, I do appreciate that. I think it's just because there's a negative connotation around it, isn't there, with it? Anchoring, how to anchor yourself down. How did I anchor myself down on both days? I needed to anchor myself down when I was feeling this pull towards the darkness, and I had to anchor myself down when I was like all really excitable and buzzing yesterday. I had to hold the tension. I love that term. It comes from the menstrual cycle awareness work from Red School. We talk about that a lot. Hold the tension. Especially when we're excited or angry. Hold the tension and anchor yourself down. And there are different ways to anchor yourself down. But the 2 that I want to leave you with, one is like a physical grounding. So connecting with, basically using your senses to connect with the immediate moment is a brilliant way of grounding yourself down back into the moment. If you feel like you're feeling like you're in the middle, you're in the waves and you're in a hormonal storm, you might want to immediately anchor yourself down with grounding. And I go through that in detail in my free guide. So I'm not going to rabbit on about that now. You can go to my bio. You can download my free guide if you haven't already. If you've already got it, because many hundreds of you have, go back to it and look at so it's the now process, and look at the O, open up your senses and ground yourself down. Do the end first, though, the noticing. Do the whole process. But that's what I'm talking about. This grounding down with your senses is a really good way of that's like an in the moment, can't cope, ground yourself down. And then the other anchor is connection with yourself, with your true essence, with who you are. If you are anchored in yourself and the true deep part of yourself and who you are, that's the best grounding of all. Because we're not then swayed by worrying what others are thinking and all the kind of perceptions and narratives and stories and artificial environments that are out there. We're actually coming from a place of deep connection with ourselves. And so a way to do that is by practicing self-compassion. And there are lots of ways of doing that, and I do talk about a couple of ways of doing that in that guide at the last. So it's a 3-step process in the guide now, NOW, and the last one is wrapping yourself up in self-compassion. And if you do that, if you can start to become, it's a process, takes time. It does take time. I mean, I have been blown away by the women who've done my 6-week course, and we do a lot of work of a lot of anchoring and then learning certain skills. There's lots in it. But I am actually surprised, if I'm honest. I'm like, wow, the anchoring back into themselves and connecting with their true essence. They tell me that's probably the key. It doesn't surprise me, and they can do that quite quickly with some of the visualizations that I do. So it's not a kind of theoretical thing, it's an actual body experience thing that we do in the course. But the guide gives you goes through the process, a couple of processes, a couple of ideas about how to do that. So that's where you can find how to do it. So those are the things, when we feel like we're all over the place. It really is the whole now process, really. It's noticing that that's happening, isn't it? I mean, probably in many years gone by, I'd have felt like I did on Monday morning, but not really acknowledged it until maybe, halfway through the day, and I'd have felt absolutely horrendous. I want to say that I have been doing this for for a very long time. So being able to tune in to my body, it's my life, it's my work, it's everything, but and that's what I want to help you with, to guide you towards being more in tune with your body, because that's where it's at. So there we go. That's me coming off my soapbox now. I'm sure there'll be another one at some point today in my life. But yeah, that's my soapbox stuff about context, sort of key words: context, willingness, and anchoring. They're kind of the kind of key words, aren't there? Or let me know what words came through to you. I'd be really intrigued. I don't know whether you see, can I even look at comments? Oh, I can. I don't know whether any of you make comments. The reason why, you'll appreciate this. Okay, so one lady's put, you're absolutely saying exactly how I felt last Monday. Oh gosh, yeah. The reason why I don't look at the comments when I'm doing these lives is I just can't do it. I mean, it's what I love about working in this community is you all understand what's going on with. Oh, Monday was like that for me too, Ailsa. Woo. We were messaging as well. New moon, definitely new moon. Well, that's my opinion anyway. Yeah, I don't look at the comments because it just loses my track of thought, and you know what it's like. We can't. Our minds can't take in too much at once. Well, mine can't anyway. I shouldn't speak for you all. Definitely the process of our minds changes in perimenopause. But no one's put any comments. But oh no, there's more. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Relevant to all women, regardless of where they are in moon cycles and moon pause. Absolutely. I mean, yeah. There's a whole other live I could do about this actually. It's relevant to lots. It's the context that I obviously talk about is in the context of hormones and perimenopause. But yeah, this is relevant, absolutely. I mean, I'd probably go as far as to say it's relevant for men, but that's not what I focus on at the moment. So thank you for joining me live, everybody. I've had loads of you here today. That's really nice. I'm going to go now. I'm going to go home and have my have a warm shower after my run, and let me know if you've seen this after the live. Let me know in the comments any thoughts and reflections about my oh, thank you for saying thank you, or reflect your thank you back. Oh, that's great. Oh, this is really nice. Oh, I can go home, have my shower, and feel all nice inside. You're saying it's helpful and resonated. Great. Good. Oh, so one lady saying, in my autumn but feeling like it's summer. Yeah, I mean I mean, you know, I work so closely with my menstrual cycle, and I thought I was premenstrual and I wasn't. In terms of my actual cycle, the menstrual cycle awareness work and all that kind of stuff, I am going to go. But basically, it's a way to help us to tune into our bodies. But those are archetypal, and actually, it might be that you feel different things at different times, and I think that's okay. You know, it's just how it is. And if you're in your autumn feeling like it's summer, then freaking enjoy it. That's what I say. So brilliant. Right, everyone. I'm sure I'll be popping in at some point in the next, I was going to say in the next week. It's obviously getting up to Christmas, isn't it? I'll see. You know, if I feel that there's a need, I'll pop in. If there's anything you want me to talk about, let me know. I do love doing these lives. All right, everyone. Have a good day. Let me find out where to stop it. I'll see you later. Oh, I can't find out where to stop it. That's really bizarre. All right, see you.